That's a thing. That's a thing too. And it's also disgusting. But yeah.
All right,
we're on point.
we'll start here, ladies and gentlemen, and we're on cable. No cursing. You're watching. You're watching Geekcaster. Everything sci-fi, fantasy, and geek culture. We've got Dayveonne Bussy eating on camera for views. We've got my man, Drew, the creator of, you want to say any of your creations?
Oh, currently I'm keeping it under wraps, but there's a few. There'll
It's
be more to
coming.
go. Don't worry.
It's coming. We're going to keep it simple today. 7, bang. That's it. That's who I am. That's it. So you know what?
7, Michael.
And you know what's interesting, Drew? And so Dayveonne, before you came on board, Drew, we did this show and everything, and I think during that time is when we got the cable time. Everybody was nerd, and got on the nerd bandwagon. I think we were the only ones that really were like talking about being a geek versus nerd or blurred, right? No one else was saying geek, right?
It was, I'd say, right around the time that the whole blurred notion movement / thing was cresting. It was just becoming a thing. We were before that. If you really want to go in the time back and way back machine,
Right.
It was like the Afro punk days. I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
That was like before it was like cool to like, nerd stuff and comics and all that. It was right, that became like that pivot came.
Mm-hmm.
It was black people to listen to rock.
Among others, yeah, it started off with that, but then it was like that extends to comics and sci-fi culture. If you're a black kid, you're not supposed to know what Star Trek is. You're supposed to be out, East Coast, West Coast beefing or whatever. But yeah, there was that. It was the not the debate. It wasn't even a debate. It was just the comparison. What's a geek versus a nerd?
Right.
I think it's still all a little gray. If I'm perfectly honest, especially nowadays. But yeah.
Yeah. But it was interesting, and now I'm seeing years later, and I would like to give us props to that because we've really stayed towards, I guess, one of the definitions of geekdom, and now I'm hearing more people either changing their brand or saying geek, throwing that in there more.
It's chic now, so now everybody wants to be part of it, and now it's oversaturated.
Right.
It's kind of just like part and parcel of who this group X is.
Right.
If you're part of, the skateboarding community, you're going to also be collapsed with group, will be like ska or like punk rock music and stuff.
Hey, I'm a skateboarder. Leave me. Let that be, bro.
I'm not saying that in a disparaging way. It's like it's perfectly fine, but it's kind of the idea how like certain types of music get collapsed with certain cultures or certain walks of life.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just how that goes.
Right. And then there were, because we were talking, like, for instance, there were a lot of, because it became pop culture, everybody wanted to be a blurred all of a sudden. Like the jocks or the frat guys, sorority girls, or the people that didn't really, they were never nerds, really?
Yeah, they were never really into. You could argue that lots of dudes who you classify as a jock.
Right.
I know dudes who did sports in school who also watched Dragon Ball, but that doesn't necessarily make them an otaku or an athlete, but it's just they were there.
Right.
A lot of it's, I think the whole idea hasn't shifted or anything, because dudes that played, ball, it's still the same stigma, it's still the same stereotype. They're still chased by, whatever section of whatever the population is interested in that group. Okay. But also nowadays, jocks also walk around wearing Dragon Ball shirts.
Right.
They'll do MMA fighters. They'll do like win poses from anime characters because that's maybe they grew up on it. Maybe they are a fan. Maybe it's just what's popular that week. We don't know. I kind of just on a case basis.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that plus now.
Right. Well, on that theme of clout chasing and trying to be on trend, I sent you guys a guy on Instagram that. And it's clips of things that he did on TikTok, right? Because everybody's using all the different platforms. He basically said he had a problem with McDonald's and he drove his car into McDonald's for hits. And then he went to the hospital and it was in the news, like he really did it, right? Then he, for more views, more hits, more likes, he cut off his brace because he got arrested and everything, and he had like a brace on his ankle. Is this where we're going with social media? That people are willing to do anything, even break the law, just to be famous?
Yeah, we've been here for years now, Seven. Yeah, this. You ever watch Daria?
Yeah.
Remember Six Ed World? It's like we get daily doses of that whenever we open like a PC, whenever we look at our phones.
Mm-hmm.
It's always, what new low is humanity willing to do for exposure and attention? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's like the gift and curse that is the internet. It's been this ability to like film ourselves all the time and put ourselves out there and make content.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's the obsession. That's the new addiction.
Gotcha.
Like what crack was to folks in the 80s, getting likes and going viral is now the new crack to kids nowadays, or people in general, because everybody does it. Not everybody, but that section of life, I guess. So,
but you know what? The problem is a lot of people are not educated or don't have common sense anymore.
Well, I'm 50-50 with you on that one. Educated, there's plenty of educated idiots walking the planet. I graduated with many classes of many of them. But it's the idea of common sense is a rarity. And this idea that everyone has the ability to go on and broadcast. How we're broadcasting right now, anyone who has a phone in their pocket can do the exact same thing.
Right.
We're kind of like, we're a 3-man squad for something that requires like literally just this.
Right.
So I'm not surprised, but at the same time, every time I get new nerds, especially with this little goon, it's all because I know we have to keep it PG. I'm really holding back the spirited language. Like this clown shoe. I don't know how old he is. He seems like he's one of the Gen Zombie, whatever, Gen Zs, Gen Alphas, whichever one. He's one of the younger ones. And again, it's more of the same crap. I remember the other case where there was this kid who walked into a bathroom stall, and the underside of the bowl, like the kind of part where you lift up. And he walks into a bathroom, bends over, licks that for likes.
Oh my god.
Gross. And then I'm just like, you look at that, it's like, dude, come on, man. Common sense, like what Dayveonne was just saying, it's like, where's common sense? It's not there. Or if it is, now it's a case of, I'm willing to eschew that if the likes are enough for it. If I can go viral, it might be worth it.
I need more. I can't eat no more.
No, Dayveonne, you gotta eat for likes.
That wasn't the plan, but hey, whatever. That wasn't the plan, but it is what it is. So that's. I mean, I'm not sure if you have the footage up, Seven. I'm not sure if folks know what exactly the footage we're referring to. It's out there. Yeah. You just said that it was on the news. Kid looks young. He looks like he can maybe pivot from it. But yeah, the part where he gets to saying, "Hey guys, I'll cut the brace off," I'm like, why did I know you were going to do that before I even did it? There he is. We got to find a way to transition you so we can just have the footage up at the same time. Seven.
Yeah, I could. You know what? I will do that. I do have the technology. I've done it in the past.
We've done it before. We do it again. Yeah.
But my thing is, for you to do something that stupid, just to basically, and
well, they got in the news. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, some people just really want to be on television. By the way, we're on television. By the way, so people watching this, it's a humble setup, but we're actually broadcasting on networks. If you go to the website, geekcaster.com, you can see all that. But some people they want it so bad. I don't know to what end, though. Like, I don't know, do people make money from doing these things?
They do get sponsorships. You do get, but is it worth it though? Like it's gonna be some billionaire that's gonna look at this and be like, "Oh, I could basically spend my money and let him do whatever he wants because look at how many views he has."
I mean, you'll have cases where, what's the expression? Everybody gets their 15 minutes. Now it is like everybody gets to go viral that one time. And then if you're able to cut a deal, if you're able to get a dumb sponsorship, if some, like what Dayveonne just said, if some billionaire chic thinks that your video is cool and wants to flew you out to hang out in Dubai or something, sure, get that. And then you kind of go the way of, what's the one guy? Busted Grill. These nuts. That guy, remember him?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
He's
wow.
one of many cases where it's like he goes viral, he becomes a thing. Whatever little money he gets, whatever little attention he gets, it runs its course. And then we find him on the streets or doing whatever random job that they can get later on.
Mm-hmm.
It's 15 minutes, condensed to a meme.
There's a right before I saw that video, a video of a young lady was putting like some gel, and I'm thinking she's gonna put it in her hair, some sort of softening thing. Okay, I'm like, what is she trying to sell?
8 gajillion, let me talk at the camera while putting clown paint on my face chicks. One of those.
So
Yeah,
this one, she had a bunch of hair on her chest. Now I'm thinking it's not real. And worst case scenario, somebody paid her to grow it as much as she could. It's going to be a remover. No, she's a body. What do they call it? I don't know.
Body positivity.
Body positive thing for hair or something
It's more.
like that.
I'd say it's more in that camp. It's part of the body positivity thing.
So her whole
I'm
thing
gonna
is,
say that-
I grow hair. She's an activist, whatever.
She's like, there are people that are really, really about it. And my thing is, you know what? Knock yourself out. Who's ever into it is into it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Who would have thought? Did you ever think growing up that a lady would be famous for having a bunch of hair in her chest, hair in her arms, and hair in her legs? Like that's a personal choice, but that's nothing to be famous about. And she's got a lot of followers. I mean, it's weird.
I mean, what was the bearded lady at the freak show back in the day, though?
Oh, wow.
It was the same thing.
Wow.
It's the call it what? It is
But
what it is.
you're right.
Like
You're not.
it's the same spectacle,
Right.
but now it's broadcasted through your phones and through digital
Right.
media.
Right.
It's the same thing. We make a spectacle of ourselves. And when I say that, it's not like in like a disparaging, messed up kind of way.
Right.
Because people were like exploited in those days. But I don't mean that in that sense. But then in another sense, she kind of is exploiting herself.
She
so
is.
if you want to
Yeah,
do that, not so be.
Did you see it? Did you see what I was? It's insane.
I saw it. I don't need to see it again, but you can post it for the people. Go ahead.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There's a difference back in the days where people were exploiting people because of what they were, who they are.
Right.
Now you have people self-exploiting themselves for what they do and who they are. And it's not in a good look. It's just that you're doing it for likes and basically trying to get attention.
It's free. It's up their own volition. And my thing is, at that point, why I'm kind of so like blasé about it. Whatever, do what you're gonna think, because that's the doom of being free. I guess you do that, you get whatever kind of criticism, you get whatever kind of praise, and whatever kind of sponsorships. It would weird me out if the message was, because this does happen too, where it's then men should, particularly straight men, should find this attractive. Whatever you find conventionally attractive, hairless women, that ew. You're a weirdo. You're part of the pigment patriarchy.
You look at somebody
this
to be
isn't
like,
attractive. You know,
it's everything men doesn't like. It's always be shunned of. Like
it's an ist. All of a sudden, it's like whatever.
I like
do
the,
you?
one of the best parts of this whole landscape is the comments. Sometimes it's not even about the video or the picture; it's the comments. And one lady, if I'm able to say lady, these days you can't even say that, but one lady wrote, "I'm all for positivity, but this is just too much. This is just too much." And I thought that was
I
cute.
realized that a lot of these women, the ones that were like, yeah, now they're starting to be like, yo, I can't take this no more. Like,
folks are finding their limit. There's barriers and there's like different what would we call them, like parameters that once you cross, people become uncomfortable.
Okay. Hold that thought on uncomfortable. A perfect transition. So we know, what was it? The TV show Jack.
oh, I know what you're talking about.
Right?
Jack A.
Yeah.
J.A.
Yeah. That one on MTV. And then you got, there's been so many groups and so many people that have followed the success of that show doing pranks. So Facebook has so many people doing pranks. A lot of it is even the reactions of the people they're doing the pranks on are fake and it's just ridiculous. But there still are people genuinely pranking people. And I wish people would stop doing that because you could see the world has changed and people don't have the patience as they did back in the day. And it could go south real quick. Like this one guy would run up to people in like Home Depot, which how smart can you be? 9 times out of 10, you're dealing with contractors and plumbers and electric people that are very strong and don't mind beating you up.
Or at the very least have access to sharp objects or blunt objects.
Right. So he would run up to them and he would pass gas and then run away. And a couple people cursed at him, yelled at him. One dude chased him. This lady cursed him out. And I'm like, one, it's very, very stupid, very, very immature. It's disgusting. But also, it's like so insulting to the point that someone's going to hurt you.
Eventually, yeah, you'll find that one. That's the game that people play. When you got the dudes walking up to them on the street and pretending like they're about to like kidnap them. You can't be shocked when that person thumps them in the mouth. It's happened.
Yeah.
Or in one case where you got these little kids from the suburbs running up to people in like the urban areas, and it's all fun and games until they see some metal come out, until they see some iron come out. Then it's, oh my God, it's a prank, bro. It's a prank. Like,
Yeah. I've seen those where the metal has come out.
Yeah, plays the game.
Like, stop doing pranks that's going to get you in a situation.
You should be doing pranks anyway. I mean, you know.
You can do pranks, but it got to be in good taste.
No, I think you prank your friends.
That's the difference. You have to identify. There's pranks how our generation did it. Like you prank your immediate friends, like your immediate homies.
Right.
You put a piece of ice down their back and let them squirm. Right.
Right.
But nowadays, when you're going out and actively doing things to other people, it's varying degrees of, in some cases, assault.
Yeah.
It's like outright assault in some cases. So you have to really delineate and differentiate between what's a prank and what's someone who's doing this weird. They call them social experiments, but I'm like, dude, there's no science of what you're doing. You're just being obnoxious.
You're just being a jerk.
Being
a public nuisance. So,
But then, you know, if we look at that from a science eye, as a culture, are we accepting that? I think, is it a point of like, people are just doing it because people have been successful doing it? We're over it as a culture, or we're still feeding that and wanting more?
The youth can find, when it's something where you have, what's the little turd's name, where he walks and he just throws his arms out like a jerk. He's like acting.
What's his name? I know who you're talking.
He's one of the more famous ones, but like that's where the goal is. When you ask these little kids nowadays why they want to be a TikToker, it's because they want to do obnoxious stuff and get paid for it. He's a fringe case, but that's kind of the goal for a lot of them. I want to be that 0.001.
Yeah, because he has money and he has a bodyguard.
Yeah, he keeps bodyguards around.
That's iron.
Yeah.
So it's like with him, you could prank it, then somebody rolls up on him, but then it's like you got to back down because his bodyguard is right there. But my thing is, what if you roll up on somebody and your bodyguard can't save you?
That could happen on any given time, on any given day.
Yeah, because you don't know sometimes who's cool with who in an area. And when the squad comes out of nowhere, bodyguard ain't doing much.
You just don't know. And again, for it to escalate to that point is dumb. Mm-hmm. But think about it. It's like the modern, what would you have, like the modern like street skirmishes of our day between what you could call gangs. I guess there are outright gangs, but then they're like little local groups, they're social groups, the socias and the whatever the hell the group is.
Right.
The socias and the greasers, right? You have those different little cliques.
Oh, the T-Birds and the greasers.
Yeah, you have that. That's kind of like angle.
Right.
So that online, it's broadcasted online, and I guess it swirls like its own community, and you get attention. And with enough likes, you start to get, like, you know, I guess monetized or whatever. That's the game. That's the goal. And it's very dumb. It's a very dumb goal. But yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's so dumb to the point that I think people don't care for their lives no more.
Well, everyone cares for their own well-being, but nowadays it's like I need to chase and have that lifestyle that I'm always looking at on my phone. How do I do it? By being a clown.
Right.
I don't have confidence in my skills or whatever, so let me go ahead and do this thing so I can get enough likes and go viral.
That's interesting. I don't think Dayveonne they don't care about that life. I think they feel so privileged that nothing's going to happen to me. Like, or nothing should happen to me. So when people get upset and they like actually want to take out the iron, as they want to beat them up, like, no, I should have the freedom to terrorize you, assault you, insult you, and you should just deal with that. Because I'm online. I'm a star.
It's not a lack of value in oneself. It's the idea that I'm the main character in my own anime. That's the angle.
Yeah.
Nothing bad could ever happen to me because I walk with real life plot armor. Until they realize, oh crap, I don't. No, you can't get live out here.
It's live out.
This is real. Abort.
Yeah, abort, and it's too late.
Especially when they do this to older folk. I've seen people do this to baby boomers, which are really quick to be like, are you ready? Because I'm about to beat you up. And Gen X is like, it's a wrap, you better run.
I kind of think in most cases with most generations, I can't even say it's necessarily a generational thing. Because you got old idiots that are out there doing the exact same thing.
Pranking people too?
I would say it goes past the realm of pranks where it's just outright crime. And it's just outright like degenerate stuff where you have a dude who's drunk. I'd have to send you the video, but there's like a footage of a guy, he's like drunk and he's climbing into a helicopter. Talking about how he's going to fly the helicopter.
Oh my God.
And he does. For about 30 seconds.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
People are committing crimes.
Yeah, he was an adult, and then like, dude, that has to be crime. I smell crime. There has to be crime in this video somewhere. But he goes up, and then the chopper goes down, and that's all she wrote. But this dude was an adult, or like the numerical equivalent of one.
Is it worth the price of fame? Do you think maybe we're being too harsh? Maybe they got it right. At the end of the day, like you said, they're a star in their own anime in their head. And the bottom line, as long as I get the likes, as long as I get the sponsorships, this is my business. You know, I'm actually a commodity.
But it's like,
okay, reaching, but
yeah, you're a commodity, but at the same time, it's like, do something that's not reckless. That's not going to cause harm. That's not going to put you. I
think we're all on the same accord of the right and wrong and stuff.
I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about to the viewers. Like, yo, just think. Like, some of y'all got your whole futures ahead. Some of y'all got, you probably our age and trying to make things happen right away. And then others, I get it. Some people are just like, yo, I give up. But then you got others that care about you.
So, Dayveonne, let me ask you this. Could it be justifiable in their heads? Like, is there some way that they could be right?
I would say no. They can't. Because once you observe it, once you put yourself in a predicament that you can't get yourself out of, then what? Because all these games that you're not getting, you want to make entertainment, you want to basically make wow factors and all that, but at the end of the day, this is real life. This is real scenarios. This is interacting with real people and not know how they're going to interact and how they're going to react with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, once that kicks off, now you don't know if you get kidnapped, you don't know if you get beat up to the point where you can't walk or talk or be paralyzed for the rest of your life. You don't know if somebody's going to come out with the iron and magically you in another world. And I'm not talking about
getting isekai, yeah.
I'm not talking about adventures.
Yeah, permanent isekai.
So, well, let me ask you this, and we got like 5 minutes left, but I'll cut it and we'll keep going because this goes smoothly into the next topic. But obviously we all know sex sells, right? And
but does
it's
it really
interesting to watch individuals that have sex is selling, and then they keep pushing, and then they start to get a little older. and then but they're still pushing, I'm sexy, I'm sexy, I'm sexy. And what I mean by that is like, normal transition. You get older, you're dating, you're doing a whole bunch of different things. People tend to fall in love. They reproduce, they have a kid, they might get married. I'm talking about a very specific person, but I don't want to throw them out there. But because of everything that they've done has been very much, I want to be famous, I want to be famous. I'm using my body, my sexuality to be famous. But then with the kid thing and now the marriage thing, do you feel that, like back in the day, that would be kind of seen as non-sexy? But now I see people exploiting the fact that they're in a relationship or having kids and still trying to sell sex. Does that work today? Is that played? Is that like they're trying too hard?
I'm not sure who exactly you're referring to, but instances of this, it goes like so. It's very interesting how when people are young and attractive, they coast on that. I'm going to use my looks because they're my God-given ability or whatever. Then they fade, and then it's about what's on the inside. Unless, of course, the person can get away with it.
Right.
Someone who's well past their maiden years still has pictures of their cheeks out for all to see at 58, at 42, at whatever, because they think they can still get away with it. It's not get away with it as in like they're committing a crime, but it's the idea of let me try and push it. Let me try. Can I still be part of the sexy club? Please. And then when they're not, they get bitter. And then it's like, okay, now, well, y'all are a bunch of exploiters. You're all perverts. The guys I dealt with back in the day, they were all abusers. They were all Now that I can't be sexy anymore, sexy's evil. I'm like, all right, well, you know what? It's very interesting how that chain goes from 22 to 42. But if they're going to play that game, knock yourselves up. But it just goes like so. There's a public discourse. Some people will like it. Some people will hate it. Everybody's going to let you know. So it's at your own risk. Knock yourself out, though.
I will say this. When we were young, we had the oysters, especially girls, because they develop at a very young age, at teenage years. Men, we develop more when we're like 18 and close, like at our 20s.
Clarify that.
You have to clarify that because that doesn't.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Dayveonne?
Yeah.
Okay. When it comes to guys, we had to mature physically and mentally.
Men, okay. I'm clearing this up tonight. Women, it's not that they're more mature than us at a young age.
No.
They develop boobs. They start getting banged when they're like late teens and early 20s. And then it's like, I'm too tired to do this and everyone should love me anyway. They physically develop quicker than guys.
Yeah. Wow, this is going to, and we're going to pause this right here because this is going to be a really hot transition. So, again, everything sci-fi, fantasy, and geek culture. We do talk about culture, and this episode so far has been about everything for fame, social media, and this is going to be a very interesting part 2. And again, the theme is everything for fame. Anything for fame. You're watching Geekcaster. Thank you, everyone that's watches on Cablevision, or watching on Brick, watching us on RSN, watching us on Verizon, all the networks, all the stuff. We really appreciate you guys. Go to geekcaster.com. If you're watching us on Instagram, leave some comments. Any topics that you want us to talk about, and or films, TV shows you want us to review, any controversies, we would love to be a part of that. And yes, and everyone watching us live on Twitch, we're just going to keep this going, so you could just keep watching the whole thing. That's great. Everyone else, you got to wait till the next week.
Yeah, no previously on the Geekcaster.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah,
hold on 1 second, guys.
Okay.
And we are live, you know what I'm saying? Which is awesome.